Good evening, everyone. I'll call today's meeting to order here in council chambers at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Alderperson Macias.
Present.
Razak.
Present.
Timian.
Present.
Finch.
Present.
McNeil.
Present.
Castro.
Present.
Schmidt.
All right, we do not have remote electronic attendance this evening. Is there public comment, Chief?
None.
All right, we'll move to questions on the agenda. I have one update for you. In regard to item 19.4 on the agenda, there will need to be a motion to reconsider. This item was approved on March 3rd, 2026, stating that work would not begin until an impact agreement was completed. Due to receipt of the attached letter, do you all have that in front of you?
Yeah.
From Iowa Construction Labor and Management Council, the impact agreement condition appears to be unenforceable. They're handling it inside of Iowa, so that's why we can have the motion to reconsider.
One further point of order with regards to that. It requires a supermajority of the full council membership, so I believe you will need a 6-person vote to pass that particular item.
Oh, okay.
And the mayor will count in that, since it is a supermajority, you would be a voting member
And that's a
for that.
supermajority without first ward, because there is no first ward alderperson at the moment.
I hope we'll have 6 and I won't have to address that.
Okay, so that is for 19.4, just so. All right, we move to our agenda items, 6.1. A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to an independent contractor agreement for professional services with McGuire Igleski and Associates, Inc., an Illinois corporation, to conduct the Moline Intensive Historic Structure Survey of the Forest Hill neighborhood.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. This was, we had come to council previously to request authorization to apply for this grant. Of course, we received the grant. My staff has been working to review the RFPs, and we've selected here the contractor, the consultant here that'll be handling the survey for the city of the Forest Hill neighborhood. That's McGuire, Igleski and Associates. So as part of the grant, as you can see, the cost of the total cost could be $19,500. That's the most that it could cost, but 70% of that will be refunded, reimbursable through SHPO as part of the grant. So it's important to understand the cost here is only 70% of that $19,500. And really what they'll do is they'll go through the Forest Hill neighborhood. There's a map that attached the exact area of where they'll be going through, and they'll be doing a survey of all those structures, noting the architecture, the dates, including with pictures and data. So we'll get a chance to really see the historic potential of all those properties, find out if there's any that are potential for landmarking or anything like that. So we're asking for your support here, and if you have any questions, please let me know.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Mr. Timian?
The boundaries of Forest Hill neighborhood recently changed. Is that relevant?
I think we're probably locked into this,
Okay.
what's included here. And I think I had a different concept in my mind of where Forest Hill was too until I saw this map or whatever we're at. So yeah, I think we're probably locked into what it's showing here on this map.
Thank you.
I have a question. Are there other questions? What are the ramifications for the residents of this zone?
I think it's more about unlocking potential probably. So if you found out I have a really historic house here that has, I could get this landmark and I could have a bed and breakfast here or something, but
Are there tax implications or renovation implications for those kinds of homes?
Unless the city decides to take a different approach to historic preservation, right? It's more a voluntary thing. So you're going to learn the importance of the structure, right? But I may ask Sean this one question, I guess, which would be, if we did find this landmark structure through this, does that resident have the rights to kind of ignore that, or are they locked into something that would be uncovered through this?
Well, there's two types of landmarks. There's a local landmark by our Historic Preservation Commission, so that gives protection to the property, like preventing demolition by neglect, and you have to come for the commission to review stuff like figuring out windows or roofs or siding or whatever.
Right.
And then there's also the National Register. That doesn't really protect you from anything. To get tax credits, normally the way it works is you have to have commercial potential on the property.
But all these things would be voluntary. So all these things are voluntary things that they could take advantage of if they wanted to.
Okay, thank you. Anything further from the council? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes.
Thank you.
Yep, 6.2, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to 3 lease agreements with Mitchell Troughton to farm city-owned property located at Price Bowie Farms. Parcel pin number 17-28-300-002 and number 17-13-100-002 from April 7th, 2026 through April 6th, 27, 1-year lease. And is it Rung Farm? Parcel pin number 17-30-300-007, number 17-30-300-053, and number 17-30-400-001. And Beeler Farm, parcel pin number 17-29-300-004 from April 7th, 2026 through April 6th, 2031.
So,
Vitas.
Madam Mayor, members of council, we are recommending approval of both the 1-year lease for for what we refer to as the Price Bowie Farm, which is the location in part for the solar farm. And then we are looking at 5-year leases for the remainder of the farms that the city owns.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Motion by
Second.
Finch, seconded by Timian. Discussion? This is the normal thing that we've
Yep.
been doing.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time.
Yep, thank you. If there's nothing further, all in favor? Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.3, a resolution authorizing the seating of private activity bonding authority to reallocate to the Quad City Regional Economic Development Authority, the city's 2026 home rule volume cap, allocation in the amount of $5,729,670 to be used to support projects that will provide job opportunities and new investments. Mr. Vitas.
Sure. Annually, we get a request from CREDA, or the Quad Cities Regional Economic Development Authority, to cede our bonding authority to them so that the funds that have been allocated to the city remain here in Rock Island County as opposed to being returned to the state, the authority. So we're recommending approval that we continue that practice.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Razak. Discussion? Mr. Timian?
Do we ever have the option to use this ourselves? It's bonding authority, and I don't really want to borrow money if we don't need to, but I'm just, like, what's the reason that we have this authority if we keep ceding it to a bigger?
To the broader,
Right.
the broader spectrum, meaning the county or countywide. You know, it's been years since we've even done a project. I think the last time a project was used with creative funding to back it up was the Enterprise Lofts, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So it's been a long time. It's available for private development, is what it's available for, not necessarily for public. But it is kind of a financing tool. It's a gap filler, so to speak, that can be used to bring down the cost of money or the cost of the project. So in that capital stack, this could be included in there.
So this could be a lever to pull in the future for the riverfront
Absolutely,
development. Okay, thank you.
absolutely.
And this is annual, so we get a chance to.
Right, we get to look at it
Right.
annually.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Anything further? No. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.4, an ordinance amending Chapter 22, offenses miscellaneous of the Moline Code of Ordinances, Section 22-1105, tobacco products, tobacco accessories, smoking herbs, and alternative nicotine products by increasing the number of Class B incidental tobacco dealers licensed in the city of Moline at the request of Web Services LLC, DBA Casey's Tavern. Mr. Vitas.
Or Mr. Atkins can take
Okay.
this.
With regards to this particular request, the vendor is going to be licensing a machine to Casey's Tavern. Casey's Tavern will be the licensee for actually providing these items, which it could be tobacco products, although At this time, it's my understanding it's going to be vaping products that are in this vending machine. It is already in a location that minors are not allowed to be there, but it is our understanding as well that the software for this machine does have the appropriate requirements according to our ordinance in order to prevent individuals who are under the appropriate age from being able to purchase. Basically, you have to scan an ID in order to be able to purchase from this machine. So it's really got two protections to keep minors from purchasing these vaping products. And we are recommending approval of this particular request.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Finch, is there a second?
Second.
Second by McNeil. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.5, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to an amendment to parking lease agreement with Bozeman Neighbor Patton and No LLP to modify the number of parking spaces leased in the Midtown parking ramp.
Sure, thank you. I had an opportunity to meet with the law firm about 2 weeks ago at their request. And what they're looking for is a reduction in the number of total leased parking spaces in the Midtown parking ramp based upon a reduction in staff that they've seen over the last several years. So the number of spaces they're looking for exceeds the number of staff that they have working at the firm as of today. So they're looking at 15 spaces versus, I believe it was 34 originally when they first leased in the ramp. So we're recommending approval of their request.
Motion to approve? Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call, please. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.6, an ordinance amending Chapter 4 Alcoholic Liquor of the Moline Code of Ordinances, Section 4-3104, number of licenses by increasing the number of Class B tavern liquor licenses in the city at the request of Jennifer Graybow and Christopher Townsend of 1522 River Drive LLC at 1522 River Drive, Moline, Illinois. Mr. Atkins.
And if I remember correctly, this is the old Other Bar location. And basically, this would be just putting in another facility at that location. These come before you because of needing the approval for when there's above a certain number. You have a number of different caps for a number of different licenses. And we are, again, recommending approval with regards to this item.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Macias. Discussion. Yes, Mr. McNeil.
I just wanted, since Mr. Townsend's here tonight, I want to thank him because he's not a big developer, but he's an investor in downtown Moline, which I think is fantastic. He's been here 15 years. And historic building with businesses on the first floor and market rate apartments on upper floors. I just want to thank him. He's a fantastic investor.
Thank you. Anything further? Okay, hearing, I need to start over. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. 6.7, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to an independent contractor agreement with H. Koopman Trucking and Excavating, Inc. for the 7th Street Properties Demolition Project bid for the amount of $450,245.
Good evening. This is the next step for the new central fire station. This will include 3 buildings being demolished and some trees in the middle of the property will be removed as well. We are anticipating this project will start late April, early May, and then be complete sometime early summer. So we're recommending H. Koopman as the lowest and most responsive bidder for this project.
Motion to approve? Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. 6.8, a resolution approving the quotation from Interconnects to provide and facilitate the installation of necessary security camera upgrades at Public Works for the amount of $170,340.94, utilizing the interlocal purchasing system, contract 240101, and authorizing the Assistant Director of Public Works to execute any necessary documents and do all things necessary to implement said project.
Yep, so this project is for our security camera system. We anticipated this being end of life, so we put it in our current budget. We will be replacing 21 cameras and then adding 4 additional cameras for interior and exterior of the building. As the mayor mentioned, we're using a national co-op, so it's very similar to public bidding that we currently use as well. So we are recommending approval.
Motion to approve? Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.9, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to a contract with Walter D. Laud, Inc. for Project 1507, 2026 Inlet Replacement Program for the amount of $102,975. Ms. Clower.
Staff is seeking approval with a contract with Walter D. Laud for our annual inlet replacement program. This is a budgeted item in our 2026 CIP.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Razak. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.10, a resolution authorizing a sole source purchase from electric pump for 2 submersible pumps and 1 set of controls and accessories for the proposed sanitary lift station being installed through project number 1538, sanitary sewer improvements on the 3500 block of John Deere Road for the amount of $135,880, and authorizing the Director of Engineering to do any and all things necessary to purchase said equipment.
Staff is seeking approval to purchase this equipment. It will be installed by the contractor through the construction project. We would like to purchase it now because of the long lead time for the equipment, and we're trying to prevent construction delays.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Timian, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Yes, Mr. Timian.
Thank you for opening up this area of the city for development. It's exciting.
Bulldozers?
We got bulldozers on the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of bulldozers,
So
Mayor.
we're gonna judge all our agenda by how many items have bulldozers attached to
We're
them.
gonna get those bulldozers and stick them on the side of your car.
Okay, sorry. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.11, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to a contract with Valley Construction for motor fuel tax section number 26-00000-00 GM 2026 asphalt maintenance program for the amount of $167,520.
I apologize for the long numbers. I don't make the rules. So this is approval of a contract with Valley Construction for our annual asphalt maintenance program. It's budgeted in the 26 CIP.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Razak. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. 6.12, a resolution approving a resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code for motor fuel tax, section number 26-00000-00-GM 2026 asphalt meet. Yes. Sorry, I was having a flashback to agenda meeting about whether this was on here double or not.
Correct.
Program for the amount of $167,520.
So this is just authorizing the use of motor fuel tax funds for the item approved in the, or the last item approved.
Got it, thank you.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Finch,
Second.
second by Castro. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.13, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to a contract with Langman Construction, Inc. for project number 1512, 4th Street resurfacing for the amount of $396,187.07.
So staff seeks approval of this contract with Langman Construction to resurface 4th Street. We did get favorable bid prices, so we would like to add an additional block to this project from 4th Avenue to 5th Avenue.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Finch,
Second.
seconded by Castro. Discussion. Thank you for thinking ahead about how we can make best use of authorized money and improve the roads. Anything further? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.14, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to accept and attest to one utility and drainage easement, more particularly described herein, for the property located at 3620 38th Avenue as part of Project 1538 sanitary sewer improvements on the 3500 block of John Deere Road.
So we would like to dedicate a permanent easement for future sanitary sewer. This is the property that will be sold to the developer for the Texas Roadhouse. And once it's sold, we won't have access to the sewer anymore, so we need this easement in place ahead of that.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Finch, seconded by Timian. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. 6.15, a resolution approving a special event application for the Mercado on 5th, 2026 public night market season scheduled every Friday from May 22nd, 2026 through October 23rd, 2026, and the Dia de los Muertos celebration, stationary parade and market event to be held on Saturday, October 31, 2028, approving to waive police service reimbursements for the 2026 season up to $30,000, and any charges in excess of said $30,000 will be billed to Mercado on 5th, Inc., DBA Mercado on 5th, and that police staffing levels and any required services associated with public safety of the event shall be determined as required by the Chief of Police, closing certain streets more particularly described herein to vehicular traffic, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to a licensing agreement with Mercado on 5th, Inc., DBA Mercado on 5th, for the use of public right-of-way in conjunction with said events.
Happy to take this one. So anyhow, Francis is here tonight representing Mercado on 5th. Welcome, Francis. Staff is recommending approval of the resolution and the special event application that was submitted by Mercado on 5th for their 2026 season, which we're hoping is going to be fabulous with higher turnout, higher numbers, and less police costs, hopefully. But as you know, we built the cost for police services into the police budget so that way we're not going back and forth all the time with needless paperwork. So we're recommending approval as the documents are presented to you tonight.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Cius. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.16, a resolution authorizing a grant to the Riverside Horseshoe Club for the amount of $2,000 from the Special Events Fund to help provide shade, shelter, and additional amenities for the Illinois State Horseshoe Pitching Association 2026 State Tournament to be held at Riverside Park. Mr. Vitas?
Staff is recommending approval of the request in the amount of $2,000 for this event to hold the state tournament here. I haven't been to a horseshoe state tournament, but I used to love horseshoes as a kid, so maybe show up just to see how well that goes.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Razak. Discussion. I will say I have gone to this event when it was held at Riverside Park previously, and it is really cool. There's a lot of great turnout, so thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for hosting it here. Question.
I played horseshoes a lot as a kid too, so.
Looks like you'll have some showing from
Indiana was, family out there, so.
Oh,
I'm
gotcha.
just
But they
kidding.
used to call it a ringer when you hit it right under the post.
We might need a
Is it
primer.
right here?
Maybe you should put, where's
You're more than
Leah?
welcome to come, you're invited.
Thank you.
There you
Yeah,
go.
do you have like an amateur event where like the city can have a team put together? All right. If there's nothing further, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I wasn't sure if you were ready, sorry. Any opposed? All right, that motion passes. 6.17, a resolution approving the special event application for the city's Spring Classic event scheduled for Saturday, April 4th, 2026. A fundraiser that is sponsored by Revive U LLC to benefit Empowering Abilities. closing certain streets more particularly described herein to vehicular traffic, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to a licensing agreement with Revive View LLC for the use of public right-of-way in conjunction with said event. Mr. Butas.
Staff is recommending approval of the request by Revive You LLC to hold their 5K run here in the city of Moline, which is scheduled for right around the corner, Saturday, April 4th. And will also appear on the agenda for approval because of the lateness of the application, and need to get it approved in time.
Motion to approve?
Second. Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.18, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to licensing agreements with 1848 Entertainment LLC, DBA Pub 1848, and Stony Creek Caterers LLC, DBA Stony Creek Inn, for use of public right-of-way for use of the Bass Street Landing Public Plaza for the outdoor service of alcoholic liquor and food from April 4th, 2026 to September 30th, 2026.
Well, here we go. We're right around the corner from starting off our Bass Street Landing concert series, which will be exciting and is always well attended, not only by our own local residents, but by area residents. So we're recommending approval of this request, which comes in annually, and also have it appearing on a council agenda so as not to delay the approval. We're recommending approval.
Motion to approve?
Second. Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 6.19, a resolution authorizing the Director of Utilities to execute a proposal for construction engineering services with Robinson Engineering Limited, REL, for the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, IEPA, State Revolving Loan Fund, fiscal year 26, lead service line replacements for an amount not to exceed $125,000. Ms. Williamson.
Staff is requesting the ability and authority to execute this proposal with Robinson Engineering to assist us with grant administration for the construction of this loan.
Motion to approve?
Second. Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. And that, oh, no. 6.20, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to a settlement agreement among participating subdivisions and remnant defendants regarding the national opioid litigation. Mr. Atkins.
And staff is recommending approval of this. It has come before this council a few times, this general litigation, and there have been approvals of some settlements in the past. The remnant defendants refers to all the defendants left in the case. And so this will be the last authorization necessary in order to receive settlement money. There may still be settlement checks coming in for a little while of decreasing amounts because with the way this settlement was structured, there was, because you always want to do this, there was money kept aside to make sure the attorneys get paid. And that money, once the attorneys get paid everything that they're supposed to, there will be some additional money coming from that. So this is the last settlement, but it's probably not the last check. It will be subject to all of the conditions that all of the other settlements have been subject to. So we have an existing program run through CED, I believe, that already is providing services that are the type that these funds are restricted to be used for. And so the expectation would be that this would be additional funding available for that program. And again, we are recommending approval of this.
Motion to approve?
Second. Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Do you mind just sharing the update KJ sent by email of the Path Forward program?
Be happy
Update?
to. She's done a really great job.
That's it?
Well, do you want me to?
You were gonna what we.
No, I mean, we got an email today from Kay, and she explained exactly how the program has progressed. And it has been pretty significant in terms of the distribution of the funds for the intended reasons provided for under the settlement. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there were over 40 individuals who benefited by the initial proceeds that we received. There's still some fund balance remaining for at least one more individual that could be served up to that $5,000 amount. And then these funds this evening would be in addition to the program funds we've already distributed and still have available. So the program is having an impact, and it's one of those programs that as we look to the future and as the opiate dollars do disappear, you know, is it something meaningful that maybe we would continue as we do with Level Up or some of the other programs in the city? And I think we should take a look at that.
I believe she mentioned keeping people in their homes, right?
Yes.
Finding housing as being critical to that successful path.
Yeah.
It is a major way that the funds are being used.
Yeah.
But
Having an
anyway,
impact.
okay, thank you.
Your Honor.
Anything? Yes, Mr. Timmy.
This totally slipped my mind. I was talking to some friends of mine who are landlords in Moline. They own a number of rental properties, and they were talking about how they or their renters have utilized this to help keep people in stable housing. And they were just, you know, really grateful that this is one of the tools in the toolbox in the city.
Great.
So
Thank you.
it's good.
Thank you. Anything further from the council? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. We don't have an informational, correct?
No, we do not.
So we'll call our regular council meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag,
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do you have an invocation, Mr. McNeil?
do not.
Roll call, please.
Alderperson Macias.
Present.
Razak.
Present.
Timian.
Present.
Finch.
Present.
McNeil.
Present.
Castro.
Present.
Schmidt.
Okay, thank you. We don't have remote electronic attendance. Any further public comment tonight? All right, seeing none, we'll move to our consent agenda.
Your Honor, I request approval of Committee of the Whole and Council meeting minutes of March 3rd, 2026, and consent agenda items 15.1 through 16.3 inclusively.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
All right, motion by Timian, seconded by Razak. Gosh,
These go students.
roll call, please.
Alderperson McNeil.
Aye.
Castro.
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
Razak.
Aye.
Timian.
Aye.
Finch.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, that motion carries. Non-consent agenda, second reading ordinances. Item number 18.1, an ordinance amending Chapter 35 zoning and land development of the Moline Code of Ordinances regarding certain corrections, additions, and/or clarifications to the zoning and land development regulations, including text amendments to Article 1, General Provisions and Administration, Division 2, Word Usage, Abbreviations, and Definitions, and amending Article 3, Zoning, Division 4, Land Use Regulations, Section 35-3401, Regulation of Allowed Uses, Table 35-3401.1, Permitted Land Uses concerning small institutional group homes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Timian, seconded by Finch. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderperson McNeil.
Aye.
Castro.
Nay.
Macias.
Aye.
Razak.
Aye.
Timian.
Aye.
Finch.
Aye.
5 ayes and 1 nay, that motion carries.
I think I'm gonna actually weigh in on this one too. Aye.
All right. 6 ayes and 1 nay, that motion carries. Non-consent agenda resolutions. Item number 19.1, a resolution approving the special event application for the City Spring Classic event scheduled for Saturday, April 4th, 2026, a fundraiser that is sponsored by Revive You LLC to benefit empowering abilities, closing certain streets more particularly described herein to vehicular traffic, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to a licensing agreement with Revive You LLC for the use of public right-of-way in conjunction with said event.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Razak. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Alderperson McNeil.
Aye.
Castro.
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
Razak.
Aye.
Timian.
Aye.
Finch.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, that motion carries. Item number 19.2, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to licensing agreements with 1848 Entertainment LLC, DBA Pub 1848, and Stony Creek Caterers LLC, DBA Stony Creek Inn, for use of public right-of-way for use of the Bass Street Landing Public Plaza for the outdoor service of alcoholic liquor and food from April 4, 2026 to September 30, 2026.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Macias. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderperson McNeil.
Aye.
Castro. Macias.
Aye.
Razak.
Aye.
Timian.
Aye.
Finch.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, and that motion carries. Item number 19.3, a resolution authorizing a sole source purchase from Electric Pump for 2 submersible pumps and 1 set of controls and accessories for the proposed sanitary lift station being installed through project number 1538, sanitary sewer improvements on the 3500 block of John Deere Road for the amount of $135,880, and authorizing the Director of Engineering to do any and all things necessary to purchase said equipment.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderperson McNeil.
Aye.
Castro.
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
Razak.
Aye.
Timian.
Aye.
Finch.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, that motion carries. Item number 19.4, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to a contract with Davenport Electric Contract Company for project number 1457 River Drive and 12th Street traffic signal installation for the amount of $637,427.81, with the understanding that work on said project will not begin until the impact agreement is completed.
Motion to reconsider?
Second.
Motion to reconsider by Finch, seconded by Castro. Mr. Timian.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to remove prior amendments and revert the bill as originally written.
I think there has to be a vote on the motion to reconsider.
Oh, you're right.
first.
I apologize.
So-
Oh, yes, thank you. And there's no discussion before that reconsider vote,
The
correct?
motion to reconsider is a simple majority. Once you get to the reconsideration, I can give an
Yeah,
explanation.
But there's no discussion.
No,
Right,
no.
thank you. All right, so roll call, please.
Alderperson McNeil.
Aye.
Castro.
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
Razak.
Aye.
Timian.
Aye.
Finch. Mayor Putty.
Aye. All right,
Now
so
your
now
motion
we are,
is-
it's back on the table for reconsideration.
The reason for, that we're recommending reconsideration is that there was specifically added to this resolution when it was last before you, a requirement that an impact agreement be signed. In your packet, you have a letter from Iloa that says that they're not going to come up with the revised impact agreement that had been discussed. Given that our requirement for the contractor is to enter into an impact agreement that now is not going to be available for them, it becomes impossible for them to satisfy the requirement that we, the city, placed on them. And for that reason, we believe that a reconsideration and then a waiver as to the impact agreement, which is required by your ordinance, that would be appropriate. And that waiver is what requires a supermajority. Hopefully you'll have 6 of you who vote on it, and I won't need to get into whether or not we count the vacancy. So that's my request, is whatever action you're going to take, make it as unanimous as you can.
Thank you. Mr. Timian.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to remove prior amendments and revert the bill to the bill that it was originally written, which I have here, and I know that the clerk has as well. This was the original copy submitted by staff.
Second.
Motion by Timian, seconded by Finch. Any further discussion on that? It's exactly what it was, it's just minus the impact agreement
Correct.
piece. Okay, so if there's nothing further on that, roll call, please.
Alderperson McNeil.
Aye.
Castro.
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
Razak.
Aye.
Timian.
Aye.
Finch.
Aye.
Mayor Putty.
Aye. So that's 7-0.
Now you would have to vote on it as amended.
Okay. Thank you. So is there a motion to vote on it as amended, or I can just call the vote?
You already, by the
Yeah,
motion to
that's right.
reconsider, you've got it
Yep.
forward.
So I'll take a roll call at this time.
Alderperson McNeil.
Aye.
Castro.
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
Razak.
Aye.
Timian.
Aye.
Finch.
Aye.
Mayor Putty.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays.
Okay, that motion passes. Thank you.
All right, non-consent agenda, first reading ordinances. Item number 20.1, an ordinance amending Chapter 4 Alcoholic Liquor of the Moline Code of Ordinances, Section 4-3104, number of licenses, by increasing the number of Class B tavern liquor licenses in the city at the request of Jennifer Graybaugh and Christopher Townsend of 1522 River Drive LLC at 1522 River Drive, Moline, Illinois.
Motion to advance the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderperson McNeil.
Aye.
Castro.
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
Razak.
Aye.
Timian.
Aye.
Finch.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion to advance to second reading carries, and that's all I have this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you. You know, I really didn't think we'd get through 20 items this quickly.
You
Thank
set a
you.
record tonight.
Thank you for doing your homework and reading through things and asking your questions ahead of time to staff. Please keep up that habit. Under miscellaneous, I want to make my annual request to start ward meetings, just so we are really in conversation with folks, especially as we get to our June CIP conversations. And that's, you know, roads and sidewalks and everything lots of people care about, but other things as well. I also want to update you that this Deputy Liquor Commissioner and I have held two Liquor Commission two hearings for violations. I just want you to know that we take very seriously the safety and reputation of downtown, and any place that we have liquor licenses. And so I mean, those are open records if you want to see them, but we are imposing fines as appropriate, trying to communicate expectations and bring businesses into compliance, because as I told my Deputy Liquor Commissioner and the folks that, what's my label? The defendants, basically. Compliance, licensee, thank you. The compliance and safety are my main goals. That's it. I'm not trying to put people out of business. I'm not trying to do any of that, but we have to have compliance and therefore safety, not only for residents, patrons, our staff, our police department that goes and helps out if things get out of hand. So I wanted you to know that. And also you may have seen my social media posts regarding the letters we all got from Mid-American yesterday. If you have real specific questions about that, please talk to Mr. Vitas. We've been in conversation for over a week about what was coming, because of course we got a heads up, phone calls. You've had some special conversations. There are special conversations coming up, and I have reassured myself, or maybe Mr. Vitas, that I've used the liaison to the governor's office, our state rep, our state senator, to just say, hey, this is exactly what we're trying to help people with, is to not let costs get out of control, and we can help it. And so I feel like we have been put here to look out for the best interests of our residents, and this is one way we do it, is by making sure the right conversations happen, so it's a win-win for folks instead of a one-sided or lopsided situation. So I don't know that I have to say anything else besides that, but
You've covered it
you
well.
can talk to Vitas
Feel
if you
free to
want
reach
more.
out if you'd like to know more.
Exciting ribbon groundbreaking tomorrow at Ontiveros Elementary School. So hopefully I'll see several of you there.
Except me, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm driving to North Carolina.
Okay, no problem. We can't be at absolutely everything. It's okay. And I think there'll be a couple more ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings coming up, because we've got a lot of projects and a lot of folks continuing to open businesses, and et cetera. So that's all from me, Mr. Macias.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Mr. Rozak.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Timian.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will mention that I do have a postcard of the original Lincoln School that sat on that site.
Will it be going out tomorrow morning?
No, I wish I thought ahead a little bit more, but it will come out eventually. It's a really cool school, and then someone on the school board reminded me of the old Irving School, which is where Trimble Point is now.
Yeah.
And it caught on fire in the 80s, and that's where the name came from. They merged together. the two school bodies. And so I think it's really neat. So I will eventually post that. But I wanted to let everyone know I represented the city for a public hearing with the state senator and, the Department of
Natural resources.
Thank
Natural
you,
resources.
thank you. And the conversation was around updates to the Rock River, particularly the steel at the Sears Dam. And the issue is that there have been fatalities. These dams were originally constructed for hydroelectric power. As a result, the water flows and it creates a effect here that is impossible for anyone to get out of. If anyone falls over the edge, which has happened, I think to a 5-year-old in 2018, it's not safe. And so the state came out at the request of then Representative Halpin, now State Senator Halpin, to do a study on this. And they came forward with 5 proposals, one of which was full removal. The other 4 are both dams. The other one, which was removal of Sears and reconstruction of steel in 4 different ways. One would be steps up. One would be I need to get the original or the proposals to you, but I stayed for when the public came and there was a lot of opposition, mostly by people who live on the river. The worst case scenario would be a 2-foot drop in the water level right around the steel dam area. And then as we go east, the decrease declines to about an inch, 7 or 11 miles away. So there would be a noticeable decline in the river height, but there would be, fish would be able to swim upstream. Waters would naturally get clearer because of the increased animal and plant life. Fish population would increase as a result too. So it's not a straightforward solution or problem. The public comment period, I think, is still open if you're interested. I think that Senator Halpin posted about this on Facebook. So I just kind of wanted to give that update. I'm happy to talk about it more. I had no idea that one of those dams was even there. And so it's kind of interesting. And then I found a postcard of one of them being constructed, but I didn't buy it because it's in Rock Island and I don't really care about that. But, yeah. But none of these are in Moline, but it does impact the water levels on the Rock River, which is also not in Moline because it's not incorporated, but it's close enough. I guess part of it is. But anyway, more information on that if you're interested and want to weigh in.
Thank you. Ms. Fitch?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Mr. McNeil?
Thank you. Attended a one-table discussion today. KJ attended as well, updated our partners on what the city's been doing around needs for the homelessness and affordable housing. Primarily nonprofit partners, but we had some elected officials from Rock Island as well. A good discussion and starting to talk about more solutions. So, and Alderman Timian shared a postcard of McKinley School.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Which
was
was really cool.
It was really great. So we'll look forward to updates on progress there as well.
Thank you. Ms. Castro?
Nothing, Your
Mr. Vitas?
Sure. Briefly, tomorrow I'm going to be joining certain members of stakeholders, members of the chamber in Springfield to discuss some of the bills that are coming before the legislature. In particular, bills that would strip away city zoning authorities and controls over housing, which is one of the bills. The Illinois Municipal League strongly opposes that bill, of course. It just preempts our zoning authority across, it preempts local government zoning authority across the entire state. It's a bit absurd, honestly. I mean, it's just absolutely absurd. There's another bill that would basically take away our local distributive fund, which is our state shared revenues. And they're looking for a reduction in the state shared revenues as well. So the Illinois Municipal League, of course, vehemently opposes that bill. There's a history in Illinois that Brad Cole, and I could share an email with you if you'd be interested in seeing it, but Brad sent out an email to the municipalities, and in there he highlights and details all of the different things that have happened over the last decade or more. And you can see just how imbalanced the amount of revenue is now that the state has been gaining by taking from local government versus what local government is actually being able to raise or to keep. You know, the more they take, the less we have, and then it imbalances what? The property tax equation. So property taxes go up as you're losing that revenue, or you have to cut service. So there's a lot of debate that's going to happen down in Springfield based on Governor Pritzker's budget for 2026 and 7. So,
I will add on to that. I think I reported this when I came back from US Conference of Mayors, right? I sat in on a meeting with Illinois mayors that were there to talk about not letting that happen and to get our fair share back again, because the, taking it down from 10% to 8% was supposed to be a temporary situation that was meant to help the pension situation. But now they want to take more. I don't know exactly how much more, I can't remember. But, you know, I raised this with our liaison to the governor's office. I said, if you can't help us with the energy rates and you want to take more from us, what are you doing for municipalities in the state? So just know that the more you can advocate for us, by contacting the folks that need to hear that this isn't helpful to us and our bottom line and helping our residents, please do so.
okay. So I'll be down there advocating, and the chamber has asked me to speak on a number of the bills. So happy to do that, and don't like being away from here, though. There's just too much to do here. And then lastly, as you know, I like to go for walks every night with my dog. And I oftentimes run into residents in the community. And I came across a young man on a bicycle over by Seton, I think it was Seton Middle School. And his mom and dad, his mom and his grandmother were sitting there, you know, yelling at him because he crossed the street on his bike to see the dog. And I thought, well, I'll slow down, let him come and meet the dog. So he politely asked to pet the dog, and, you know, I always allow that, and because he doesn't bite. And so the young man started to ask questions. I happened to be wearing my City of Moline shirt with the logo on it. He recognized it and didn't know who I was. So he wanted to know who I was. So I told him. Of course, his mom and his grandmother were like surprised, because they hadn't met an administrator from this city ever before. So we talked. He was very interested in the fire service. His favorite show. Unfortunately, he was more interested in fire than in police, but he was very interested in fire service. Yeah. You know, he immediately said, he goes, I noticed that they switched the colors of our fire engines, you know, to Chicago style colors. I mean, this kid could have probably been 12 years old. I'm going to guess around maybe 11 or 12. And I said, that's right, we did. So he talked about his future in Moline, growing up here. He's born and raised here. And he asked me at the very end to give him a shout out. and I said, really? You want me to give you
an influencer already?
Yeah, he's an influencer. Can you give me a shout out? And I said, well, young man, of course I'll give you a shout out. So here you go. Brody Charles Lambden, future firefighter, maybe fire chief one day in Moline, who is by chance the grandson of Jack Loud, one of the people that we do tremendous amount of business with here in the city. So anyhow, there's your shout out, Brody. I know you're listening, so all the best to you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other staff updates? Yes.
Your Honor, I just wanted to hop on what Alderman Timian pointed out about the public meeting with the IDNR. I was able to talk to the gentleman from the IDNR that was there with Senator Halpin. We had a good conversation. He was super helpful. And so regarding the comments session, or the comment deadline is March 31st. So the city is going to be filing a comment regarding any potential impacts on the South Slope Treatment Facility.
Thank you.
That changing the level of the river may have. He stressed that the funding now has been only for studies and it's a ways out before they would actually do any work, but just wanted to throw that in there also.
Thank you. Any other staff? All right, that concludes that. I believe we have executive session.
Yes, we do.
Oh, sorry, last public comment. All right, we'll move on. Thank you.
Your Honor, I make a motion that the council convene an executive session for the purpose of discussion of property acquisition -5 ILCS 1204-2C5, price setting for sale or lease of real property -5 ILCS 1204-2C6, pending probable or imminent litigation -5 ILCS 1204-2C11.
Second.
Motion by Macias, seconded by Timian. Roll call, please.
Alderperson McNeil?
Present.
Castro?
No,
Aye.
thank you.
Macias?
Aye.
Razak?
Aye.
Timian?
Aye.
Finch?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, that motion carries.
I think you skipped me.
Did I skip you?
I didn't say aye. I was laughing. I was too busy laughing at. I was too busy laughing at. Mr. McNeil.